we're not here to make up the numbers, we're here to compete as well. This squad, with the power they have on their day, they can do anything they want.
Welcome to the Glassgirls network.
Proud sponsors of
Neve DC
And Mill Rogers.
And today we're just going to have a quick little talk about how the season's going up to date. We're now 5 games in. We've made a new signing, which will be one of the topics that we're talking about. So let's get that started off with, John. What do you think of the new signing?
I'm really excited. First of all, these things happen when there's no transfer window, so following like WSL teams or Premiership teams, it is like out the ordinary for us. Like, you know, just like any time we can just sign a player pretty much this, that and the other, which is great. But what excites me the most about this player is, and I know that we'll discuss it a little bit later, how she's going to fit in regards to her ability and so many other real well-known players in the team. So I think it's a real step forward. She's not come just to make up the numbers or just to be a squad player. I do believe that she's going to be pushing for that starting 11. So just a little bit about her. I've done a little bit of digging. I know the guys know that already.
John does digging. I've done
a bit of digging. I was spoke to the Wolves podcast, Wolves Women podcast, and they rate her highly, which is great to hear. Obviously spoke to a few players, spoke to an under-18 parent who's watched her train as well. So everyone says some great stuff about her. I think what excites me as well is the fact that she chose Stourbridge. So she played for Wolves Reserves, which is obviously a well-established team, part of a team where they went undefeated for the whole season. So it's no little team that she played for. This is Wolves Reserves, who went unbeaten. She left in the middle of July, gave Solihull Moors a go, played 3 games, come off the bench 3 times, only got 40 minutes, and now she's ended up here at the War Memorial Ground. Top of the league, you know, she's obviously coming.
She's in good hands. She's in good hands.
Absolutely in good hands. But as well, she's not going to come for the reserves, in my opinion, because it's the same league that Wolves Reserves was in. So here she is saying that, you know, she wants to play like women's football and not be around like girls, in inverted commas I'll use. You know, she wants to be part of the senior team. So yes, she's dropped a tier to do that by coming to from Wolves to here. But the potential here is amazing, and she said that it's great for her own development. Fisher said, I think he used the words tidy, which is great. The under-18 parents said creative. I have got a couple of quotes as well from Mill and Meg Hadley, who obviously played for her when she played at West Brom. So I will just read them out as well, because this excites me as well. Let me just find this, here we go. Yeah, so Thea is an outstanding player, glad to be reunited with her. Super happy she's joined Stour and can't wait to see her success in such a great team. That's what Meg had to say about her. And Mill Rogers, someone who the Glassgirls network sponsors, by the way.
One of our own.
One of our own. Thea is a player with great vision, wide range of passing, and someone who quickly breaks up play and starts an attack. Love the girl to pieces. Can't wait to be back playing with her again. So all I'm hearing at the moment is just positivity from absolutely everywhere. So I'm just going to throw it open to you guys. We're thinking that she's going to be playing that CDM role because that's what was mentioned on the website, and that's kind of what we're hearing. It's right out to you guys. You know, what are your thoughts on this signing?
Yeah, I think it's a really good signing. Obviously, I think it's a position that needed strengthening really, because when you look at the squad and sort of, you know, primarily defensive midfielders, I think Elle McGovern is probably the only one that you'd say is maybe an out-and-out defensive midfielder. I know quite a few of them could probably do a job there, you know, but if we're talking about out-and-out positions, probably Elle McGovern is the only one you say for a defensive, you know, midfielder. So to have, you know, someone else giving her the competition is always going to be a good thing. And the fact that she knows a lot of the girls already, you know, what's great about this club is the sort of bonds that the players have. You know, there's so many connections that we have. You know, they're always down here having a few drinks or whatever, just being friends. So yeah, the fact that she knows them, I think she's really going to, you know, gel well with them, and it looks like it's going to be a really, really good signing for us.
Yeah, I'm excited to see her make a debut as well. So I've not seen much of her before, only from what John's just mentioned about her, and I think it gives Fisher plenty of options in the midfield already. Well, he's already stacked anyway, but I think that extra, you know, quality that can come on the pitch as well. And say this is a long season ahead, so we're going to be relying on every player to you know, make their contribution. And I think it'll be say Thea will be the one to make an impact as well, whether that's starting in a game or coming off the bench as well. So, as I say, I'm excited to see how she plays as well across the season.
For me, sort of ties in with what we're going to speak about is squad rotation. But having that extra person that can come in and rotate is great to have, especially in that area where we're not overly stacked in the defensive midfield area. We've got players, as Kieran said, can go in do a job in there, but other than Almagovan, you would say is a natural central defensive midfielder.
Yeah.
To have another option in there is great because it also gives you an option off the bench if need be, or vice versa. Almagovan gives you that option. From what I've heard, they're very, very alike players. Both like breaking up play. Both got an eye for a pass, and if she's got anything like Almagovan's traction engine of a foot, then we're on for another great player. But it's a long season, and it can't do us any harm by having that extra option. From what we've all heard, it's just really, really good stuff and exciting stuff to have a new body in the team.
Yeah, I was just going to say as well, I think maybe sort of, obviously in this season we're coming up against tougher teams. So, we said this before in one of the previous episodes of this, that sort of seeing games out is more something that we're going to have to be introduced to. We've done it a few times already this season. And to have maybe take off an attacker, a winger, whatever it might be, to bring on a defensive midfielder, I think it's probably going to be, quite a bit of what Fisher does, to be honest with you. And yes, I think it's all part of that idea of just wanting to see games out. So yeah, another defensive body, you definitely can't complain at that, especially when you're in, such a tough league like we're in.
And how about as well, like it's slightly changing formation, so I imagine coming up against Elle and Thea in the same team.
I was thinking the same myself, as Kieran was just talking about subjects like having the difference to go change formation. You brought it up, like it was going through my head at the same time, like being able to play with the two defensive midfielders from the start against certain opposition, which could cause them problems, because whatever they see of us, it's a different option, and it keeps teams guessing then whatever we go with. So it's really, really nice to have. Yeah,
I mean it's hard enough for most teams to get through our attacking midfield, let alone sticking two defensive midfielders in there. It's going to be a tough one, I think.
Or when we're having to defend a lead as well, where the game's tight and you want those two defensive midfield.
You've got that option to chop and change, haven't we?
Or like Sunday when we was there 4-0, you just bring on another defensive midfielder, just
kills the game.
Kills the game. Like you give them no option to even try and get a consolation goal as well, because I know Fisher will be like, we're winning 4-0, but he wants to keep that clean sheet as well. So it's like you don't want to be conceding goals either. So
and she can play further forward as well. From what she was saying on one of the first quotes when she first joined the club, she does like to get a bit further forward as well. So potentially, you might see Elle and her both play in the same team, but with her playing more of a box-to-box kind of role, which would then allow like Lammy or Alex ahead of her.
But it also gives you like that, I'd say like the England kind of feel that we had, where you had like Declan Rice and Henderson, and then you can have one breaking forward to join the attack and one sitting back. So you don't always have to have them both as defensive midfielders, which is very, very good good options to have.
Good call.
Getting those players that in sync, so as you say, one will stay back and one will go forward. So
having that kind of rotation.
Don't go both forward together and they don't stay. They're not trying to do essentially always the same thing at the same time. So it's like you do this at this point, and then I'll go forward and help the team further forward as well. So it's just striking that balance in the team as well.
Yeah, no, I think that'll be really interesting. Like you say, like I don't know much about Thea personally, but like you say, if she's got a good attacking output, I think obviously it's going to be quite hard to maybe displace some of the attacking midfielders we have in this squad. But if she can show that aspect as well as the defensive side of her game, then that is like you say, like a really important bit to have, where you can sit back but also be quite aggressive on the maybe on a counter attack, something like that. It's quite interesting to have both aspects of your game, really, both the attacking and the defending. I think it brings sort of a new dynamic to the midfield almost.
Yeah, I would say that's about it, right. And well, the biggest thing as well, like I've said, so no better time to move on to the next topic of squad rotation. For me, we saw on Sunday how important that was. The players that come off the pitch were give everything they could. They were absolutely shattered. But then the players that come on, like two coming back from injury, Ez and Hannah, and they both had massive key roles in the game.
Really changed the game almost, pretty much. I mean, yeah, like Ez, you know what you're getting from Ez. She's a commanding midfielder, you know, very vocal. She's just going to sort of raise that spirit in the team as well. You know, I think she's really important to the way we play as well. And then Hannah as well. Everyone knows what Hannah's got. She's got that bit of quality. Yeah, and she really changed the game, like you say. You know, cutting inside. I think it was Lil's second maybe that she set up.
Yeah.
So yeah, to already come onto the pitch with I don't know how many minutes left and get yourself an assist. You know, you can't complain about that at all. And yeah, like both of them two can be very, very proud of what they've done and happy that they've contributed with limited minutes on Sunday.
Yeah, I wanted to speak about Hadley last week, didn't I? But we was too busy eating pizza that we couldn't quite.
Well, it wasn't pizza, it was KFC.
Oh, KFC, sorry.
It happens.
But yeah, I wanted to talk about Hannah last week, and it was great to exactly see her get onto the pitch because we all know Hannah's ability. We know her past with the Birmingham Academy, and she chose to have a second season here. In my eyes, she's like our third best striker. And I think Josh thinks like she could play a little bit further deeper, but I like to see up top as well, or winning the players. Either way, I think she deserves game time. But all of a sudden now, out of nowhere, we're seeing Senna come, stepping up. So Senna's name is being around there. You can see Amber playing some sort of like attacking role. Lil Beth on the weekends. We want to talk about squad rotation, but if you look at our strikers or our attacking players, there's only room for like maybe 3 on the pitch. Two if you play a 4-4-2, or 3 if you play a 4-3-3 kind of role. It's very hard to get them all on, but obviously this is a nice headache to have, and at the moment it's working well because they're keeping fresh, they're happy, So, what are your thoughts on that, Josh?
I think it's a great option to have because I don't think we've got 2 players that are the same.
Mm-hmm.
In that forward area, I don't think we've got 2 players that are exactly they all offer something different. Yeah. They all have their own attributes which are key in what they do. You saw it. The goals he scored, Deezy's instinct, scoring from the first one, the header, straight in there. The footwork from Hannah to create the 4th goal, I think it was, all across. Lil, 2 tidy finishes. First one. Brilliant. Very good goal. Very good goal. Really, really good. And then you've got the likes of Mill still out there. But I don't think there's a stronger forward in the league. But
no, definitely not.
They all have their own attributes, which is what makes it such a great headache to have because you can go with
you can. And that's the thing as well, because the opposition don't know who we're going to play. They've got an idea that we're probably going to play Mill and Neve on most occasions, but how they're going to play with each other, or halfway through a game they can swap. We've seen Mill or Neve go out wide at times and somebody else come in through the middle or whatever. We haven't got them options to have, haven't we? It's they can't scout absolutely every one of them.
No, but it's the one I forgot to mention, and you'll be able to big up better than everyone, is Amber. She's another one of them attackers, but she offers so much.
And just sits in the pocket, just like the movement and the intelligence as well, and just like to pick the ball out and pass it to a teammate and just get us on the attack as well. And also from Sunday, I was impressed like substitutes as well, like Esme brought a bit of extra energy to the midfield where we needed to press home our advantage as well. I'm trying to remember what the score was when Ez came on. I don't know, it was still 0-0. We had just gone ahead.
Maybe 1-0 was it?
Yeah, and I think
it
that
might have been Sue because she won the penalty for the third.
When Neve and Mill came off, or was it before?
I'm not too sure, but she brought extra energy to the. One thing I was impressed by Hannah was her pace as well. Like, I remember point was coming near to the end of the game, she was literally on the left, just literally driving at the Peterborough defence, and they were like, "What do we do?" And obviously setting up the Lily Beth for a second goal as well. So, but yeah, as I say, squad rotation definitely important across the whole season. So, even though some players might not be getting much game time at the moment, across the season they're going to make. Those players that aren't in the side are going to make a significant contribution across the whole season. So we're going to be up there challenging. We need every player to be, on their game when whether they start or come off the bench.
We've only really spoke about the attackers in the midfield, but then how good again was the defensive line?
I was going to say that.
They go so unnoticed every game.
No need Murphy, injury, and
then
Sophie come in and. Sophie and Sophie at the back were really, really good together.
Two brilliant defenders.
no Meg.
Zoe Clark.
Zoe
It was a
Clark
great
again,
game.
absolute unreal performance again.
Jess Bate
Jess Bate
came into the
coming
side,
into
you
the
know,
team, solid.
didn't really put her foot wrong. You know, she's had a lot of game time last season. You know, she was pretty much a mainstay in that right back position. I think, you know, this season we came in with Zoe can definitely play there. Lev maybe could play there if she wanted to. So yeah, I think, like I've said before, the competition is good. You know, it brings out the best of these players really, because you know they're not going to want to put a foot wrong, because they know at any given chance that someone else that has equally as much quality could come in and take their place. So yeah, it brings out the best of them, like I say.
And then, like we say every time, as soon as you get past the defence, you're the biggest player in the league to go up against. So
one player that we don't want to see rotated too much, just because of how quality she is. But great to see Amy always getting applauded from the opposition as well. We spoke to Amy earlier, didn't we? And she said that the opposition even, said well done on her speed. You know, even when she's not making saves, she's contributing when the ball goes over the top. But yeah, great, and we never even mentioned Lindsay in that defence as well. You know, coming on as a sub, just as the defence was getting tired, you got Lindsay winning it. Yeah,
she comes on and she adds that extra dynamic to the pace, doesn't she?
And the pinpoint crosses as well,
and her ability to put the ball in the box. Like, she offers so much to the team.
And just on our defence as well. I mean, Levick as well. I'm just saying, just found that consistency now in a game. Say centre backs, she's made that her home now, and she's like a rock at the back. Whoever she's playing alongside against as well. I mean, Zoe Clark. I mean, I was impressed about her on Sunday. Was ability just to bring the ball forward and just drive on the attack as well. And obviously Jess as well at right back, I say, just doing her job, getting in the defence, and so yeah, very impressed by our defence. Which is going to be key throughout the season, not conceding any goals. Well, we got Amy in goal, so shouldn't be conceding that many. So, but yeah, so
not a nice stat. 5 games in, we've only had conceded 3, and
it's all right.
3 clean sheets. By the end of the season, we'll have more of them than Donnell.
Should we lifting the golden glove as well?
Just speaking about Amy, I think it's quite an interesting dynamic. The fact that she is so fast as well. Because if teams, when you think about it, if teams aren't doing their homework on her, they might be pumping those balls in behind, constantly. And it's like you say, it simply doesn't work, because we have arguably probably our fastest player in the squad in goal. So yeah, it's a very unique dynamic to have, because I can't think of another team in the world really where their fastest player is in goal. But it just adds that extra bit of surprise to our game that you might not expect, and that could really throw the opposition off on a day.
And just to add on that, I was saying Amy looking to pick up the golden glove at the end of the season. I'm just thinking at the other end of the pitch, the golden boot, looking like Neve Deasy, just score, just banging in the goal. So I know she'll want to score a lot more.
She scores when she wants.
Yeah, with her head or a toe. So hopefully we're picking up 2 awards at the end of the season.
Well, yeah, hopefully a few
Minimum
more.
2.
What I mean for the players,
The other thing like that, how composed was the penalty finish from Neve as well?
Very good.
Very
good.
Pace, power, away from keeper.
Yeah.
Unsavable, really.
230 fans watching. So I'll throw that number in there. The 5th highest in the tier 4.
Yeah. I've got to give a big shout out to the biggest one of the day on Sunday was Kieran. Mr. PA.
Extraordinary.
You've done well now.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it was a really interesting new role. It's not something that I'd ever really thought about before. And Cal said, "Do you want to get involved and do it?" And yeah, obviously, I wanted to. So yeah, no, it was really fun actually. I think looking back, admittedly I've watched pretty much all of the bits that I said on camera on the video. I've watched it all back because I thought it was really, really good, to be honest with you. And yeah, no, it's something that you can expect to see a lot more if you do end up coming down to any of the matches. If you hear anything going on the microphone, the annoying twat on the PA areas.
There may be a little clip of him doing some bad football moves.
Oh, possibly. I mean, listen, if Stu and Leon are watching and they want me on a contract, listen, I am here.
So anymore.
Hey, it's all right bringing the water and the tea out.
That's pretty much it. Obviously, you guys might get to see Thea on Sunday.
Yeah.
The next game.
Tough game.
Yeah, Huddersfield. Yeah, I don't really. Are they the league above? Are they?
really know much about
Tier 3. So
Tier 3.
yeah, it's going to be a tough one, but yeah, I think it's a chance for us to look at some of the new players, like you mentioned, like Thea. Yeah, and just have a look at them. I think it's quite important, really, to make sure that Fisher and Mike both know a lot about these players, and games like this is where you can definitely do that. And you know, especially this game more than ever, losing isn't the worst thing in the world, because you are learning so much more about the players. And also with this game, you are going into is the place you go into if you lose this game.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not a woeful situation if we lose. Obviously, we're going to go out there and want to win. But yeah, a loss isn't terrible for us all.
For me as well, it sort of takes when we're down here, they sort of have the pressure on them because we do what we do. We get results. I think going there relatively unknown, it's almost like the pressure's off, and you might see some new things tried. You might see a bit of experimentation, which might be a good thing. 'Cause you might find a gem in the rough, so to speak. You might find. So it's almost like it gives them a chance to maybe express themselves a bit more.
Yeah, no, definitely.
In a game where the pressure's not on them as much.
Yeah, I think so. When we talk about like rotating players, I think this is a great opportunity to obviously bring in players that may not necessarily start, but will still give 110%. So I'm saying you're weakening your side. It's not about weakening your side as such. It's about like just giving other players game time who doesn't usually get a game time in the league. But they'll still give 110%. So it's still not. I still think that they'll feel a bit of pressure because I want to deliver, but it's a different kind of pressure, isn't it? It's like it's not like it's so intense inside this kind of stadium, which is where we are, by the way, in the stadium. Yeah, I think it's just a great opportunity for other players to kind of show what they can do on a big stage.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. I don't know how long we're going to ramble on for. We are going on for 21 minutes. I do have a sort of little segment if we want to interject quickly. It's sort of almost a this or that sort of game. We a discussion to see which ones we'd rather do out of these scenarios that I've invented.
Is it football related?
It is indeed. Don't worry.
There we go.
First one: pizza or KFC? No, it's not.
Pizza.
So,
number one.
Yeah. I don't know if we want to limit these to quick fire or maybe just a brief bit of discussion between each one. But we're going to, so which of these would we rather have at the game? So we have the Sunday afternoon games, a 2 p.m. kickoff. A standard. You might have your morning beforehand, and then you're there for the evening as well. Or a midweek game under the lights here. Which one would you rather have?
I don't think there's anything more special than a midweek game under the lights. Like, if you could honestly say, like, from where we're sat now, pitch view, good lights on. It is raining, but I think that adds to it as well.
It does a bit,
it just makes it feel a bit more, especially at this time of year as well.
Yeah.
Like when it's dark, a bit early.
Get a bob roll.
It's proper, like bob roll and a burger.
I think so I think the actual game itself under the lights this time of night. But I like to spend, as we all know, because we're all together, make a day of it. So you get your breakfast, you have your dinners, you have your pints afterwards, and you celebrate, because we always win, so we've always celebrated. You do make a good 12-hour day of it. So,
and the rest.
And the rest, yeah. So I think the game itself on the evenings, but the actual event, the whole day, I think, the Sunday.
And just games under light, they're very unique, and I'm just thinking, it's like almost like very special. You get those moments where just think, not that you don't get them in the games that are during the day, but I just think it's like cold, raining, and just like seeing the team win. I just think it's no better feeling than seeing that. So yeah, definitely a game under the lights for me.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think I agree with that, to be honest. And moving on to our next one here. This is something that I talked to Anthony with after I think it was Northampton, his last game. So would we rather have a tight 1-0 win or like a 5-0 smashing? Which one of these do we prefer? Because I'm really unsure, because that game at Northampton, when we were holding on for those last minutes, honestly, I think that was probably one of the best moments of the season for me personally.
My watch kept telling me my heart rate's over 120 beats per minute and I've been inactive for 10 minutes. But I would rather go through a game where you've grinded it out good and you're more happy when you come away with it and you're like, yes.
Yeah, completely.
Everyone comes off knackered, but it's...
Yeah, I mean, interestingly, Anthony, he said he much prefers the 5-0 smashings. I think that's just, I don't know, maybe he just wants to get in their head slightly, or just, you know, really assert the dominance, or I don't know what it is.
Yeah, and it depends. Well, so those games can be exciting as well. Those 5-0
Definitely,
you know,
yeah.
it depends how we played and, you know, how the goals have been scored as well. So it's like they both have, you know, the 1-0s and the 5-0s are equally as special as each other.
I think for me, I think some of the games where I cast my mind back on last season, the ones that stick in my mind are the ones where it took us ages to score and we eventually got that goal.
Like
or we've even got 1-0 down,
away.
lie in the cup ones. Yeah, I mean that was amazing. That was 2 or 3 of the games just stick in my head, and the tough ones. And I think you scream louder when you do score that 1-0 as opposed to screaming loud on the 4th goal or the 5th goal.
That relief, isn't it?
Relief,
Like
bit of everything,
you've got it. Like if you
I'm just thinking on the last.
every game we've had down there with like Lincoln was a tough game. Even though scoreline was what it was. Sunday again, 4-0, still a tough game.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking back to the end of last season, Sutton Coldfield away, where
Yeah,
you know where it was a bit.
I think Mill scored a brace on that, didn't she? I think,
Yeah,
possibly.
Lammy.
I think no, it was Lammy. It
Oh, was it? Yeah,
I
Lammy.
think these who used to play for Sutton Coldfield
Yeah.
scored against us, and then we hit straight back. That was that game was tight, but then we just found a way just to hit back and you know grind out the 3-1 win.
Yeah, and my third one here. I think this one comes down to different circumstances, so there might not be one answer for this one. Let's say it's 0-0. It might be the 90th minute. We have a free kick. Who's taking it?
Ooh.
Lindsay Glover or Elmer
Circumstances.
Given?
That's what I'm
Well,
saying.
it's circumstances. isn't it?
where is it on the pitch?
Yeah, I think we discussed this the other day. I think,
Yeah.
didn't we? I
Yeah.
think possibly something like that.
Centre of the goal, edge of the 20-yard line.
Yeah.
Anything with a bit of angle on.
Yeah.
Lindsay.
Yeah. Angle and power. Well, power for me would be Lindsay, so a bit further out, Lindsay. Anything that just needs a bit of a, I don't know, I don't know, it's hard to say technique because they've both got massive technique. But I think, yeah, Lindsay's more power. Is it more power? I don't know, power from a long range.
Then
I
we
would
get a
think.
free kick at Aberystwyth. I'm just thinking
Yeah.
the up and down.
Bit
of bar at
Houser as well.
It does depend where it is. Yeah, but I agree with Josh. Further out would be Lindsay, and then a bit closer to the goal would be Al.
It's so hard to choose. Like depends where it is on the pitch. I'm just thinking, do I go for L or do I go for Lindsay? I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah.
You could probably throw a Lammy in there as well. For
Possibly,
technique,
yeah.
For a bit,
Yeah,
for, a bit
yeah.
for a bit of curl on it.
Yeah. No, definitely.
so they're all equally as good as each other.
Exactly,
Taking
exactly.
free kicks, so we'll take any three of them.
Yeah.
Right, our final one here, and arguably the most important question of them all. Let's say we're in the Glassgirls bar, for example. Everyone's a bit down, a bit deflated. We need one person to step up onto that stage and lift the mood. Are we choosing Mill Rogers or Hannah Fishwick?
Oh.
I'll throw another one. G.
Very true. Very, very, very
I'll throw
true.
another one. Like,
Yeah.
Well,
it's a very.
we
It is a
love
tough one,
G, of
isn't it?
course. That would not be.
We do love G.
I think. Sorry, go on. Sorry.
But I would say like just this season, like the way Hannah's come out of British Challenge, she's just.
Yeah.
I would say Hannah, like you know when you get with Mill will make everyone laugh and giggle.
And get the crowd up and going. So that's
Definitely,
why
yeah.
I choose Mill for myself because she'll like bring everybody back up on a high as well.
I think if we've won and you want a big sing song, it'll be Mill. But the things that Hannah does that she probably doesn't even realise that lifts the mood, i.e.
Yeah.
like a dress sense, the quirky things that she says. You know, you can just look and just like start laughing because she just don't know said something that she doesn't mean to be
Just
funny,
outrageous.
but it just lifts the mood and she
outrageous.
has got that X factor. And I said that, you know, like at the start of the season, you know, that's why she just got something just a little bit different and. You know,
Yeah.
it's part of them, isn't it? You know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many of Anthony Dunn's photos that you've looked through personally, but Hannah, she's always posing or whatever, doing something mental.
It was the DX on the got
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
That's 2 words for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, to be honest, I think the best entertainment comes when they combine and a bit of Don't Stop Believing comes on. You know,
yes,
I think
that was-
that is when they're
yes,
probably at their
yes.
primes, I would say.
Yeah, yeah.
Prime time in the
Half 11
Glassgirls
at
bar.
night, that was.
Exactly.
I missed that night. You guys was here like all night, and then I come in from work, and
No.
I got to the Glassgirls bar at about 11:30. First thing I see is them two with guitars doing a bit of singing. Brilliant.
Brilliant, yeah. But that's all I've got written down. Possibly something we could do again in the future. This little
Absolutely.
Yeah,
list. But yeah, that's me done.
So we will wrap that up now. And we will say the final quote: "We don't stop."
We don't stop, baby.